Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question, and that is, how do you resist the hover attempt when you feel seduced back into a relationship with a narcissistic or psychopathic individual? In other words, you've had such a strong attraction, a strong devotion, a strong connection with this individual that you feel it's very difficult to stand your ground. It's very difficult to say no. It's so difficult not to be enticed. So we want to zoom in and focus in today on some tools to help you assist with backsliding into the hover state, the Hoover state, and how do you really resist and stand your ground. But before we get started, once again, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently put some skin in the game for yourself and donated to the channel. It's what makes my work here so worthwhile and worth it is viewers like you who've actually advised me that this is actually making sense and resonating to you in your specific situation. So thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege. And absolutely, if there's viewers who I've been a positive influence, you can absolutely positively donate to the channel. There is a donate now, like a PayPal button, like a tiny button on the left-hand side of the About page where you can make a donation, absolutely, if that would make you feel good. So let's dive right in and move forward on this viewer question, and it's, how do you resist the hover attempt? What I really feel is important is that you're able to know that this is going to take place either literally or metaphorically within your mindset. So a hover attempt, however you want to pronounce it, tomato, it's basically where this person is going to come back a-knocking in your life. You know, you're out and about, you know, you've gone several weeks or several months or even several years, no contact, and then here comes a drama. There could be a death in the family. They could, say that they're in town. They could say, I want to see you for this concert. I want to see you for this dinner. I was thinking about you. Or something else comes, and they're trying to draw you back in, suck you back in, hoover you in, and you feel like you're giving it some attention, or either metaphorically within your own mind where you're doubting yourself and you're wanting to go back. You're wanting to tread back. You're wanting to regress. You're wanting to see if you've made the right decision. Did you leave, was this potentially the love of your life, your soulmate, the answer to your prayers? You want to test it one more time. Your tolerance has been, oftentimes it's when you're strong enough is then when your tolerance for their energy is on the upswing, the uptick. In other words, you're feeling good about yourself and you're now wondering if this is the anecdote that now maybe you're better suited for the relationship, or enough time has passed that this person might have changed. They might respect you now. They might get it now. They might get at what you were trying to explain. And then you're back into that self-recrimination and, self-doubt, and you're seducing yourself back to going, back in the trenches with them. But unequivocally, you need to stand your ground, or else you're losing ground within yourself. And it's so important that you begin to look and kind of forecast what I call forecasting forward. So having a plan, having an action plan, having a vision for yourself, how you are going to react when and if the hover comes. So in other words, knowing through a vision moving forward, just for example, like a gymnast. If you were to know if you've ever seen a gymnast on the vault, male or female, and how they're standing at that little, line, and then they're going to take that run, and then they're going to jump the springboard, they're going to do their vault, they're going to do their twist, turn, somersaults, and then land with their hands up. So they have a vision of the twist, turn, and then the land. So I want you to have a similar forecast or similar vision for yourself. In other words, if the call comes, you don't look. Delete, delete, delete. If the text comes, delete, delete, delete. Getting their Facebook account off, delete, delete, delete. And knowing that if this happens, how you react and respond. In other words, knowing how it gets you physiologically, and beginning to calm those feelings down. If it makes you feel sad, shore yourself up and say, it's time for me to get it together. I am strong. I deserve better. I am joyful, and I have closure over this. This is not happening again. In fact, I'm attracting new experiences and types of people into my life. This is no longer attractive. I'm no longer reactive and attracted by this. I know better now. I am all the wiser, and I am not going to break down. My standards, I know and identify where they are, and I know what my standards look like. So no matter what the influence, no matter what you see, no matter how many other people are on their crazy train, you are not going to flinch and flail. You're not going to buckle. You are standing your ground, and you're keeping your vision for yourself moving forward. In other words, being able to identify your trigger points. There's a certain holiday and I'm triggered. There's, a specific situation where someone is married or divorced or they're sick and I'm triggered. Knowing your trigger points, so having a vision, so just like that gymnast knows where she has to duck her shoulder, twist, turn, knowing what the moves are, knowing what's going to happen, and then knowing how you are going to make your twist and turn and land on your feet. So it is keeping a vision for yourself where you're usually reactive, sending pictures, mad texting, all the other getting into a combat zone. Do not enter into the combat zone, especially if you're with those individuals. I know we have a lot of viewers who are, in a divorce process. They are in a reactive, a fighting mode. Do not enter into the combat zone. Do not. If you're used to yelling, flailing, screaming, tit for tat, you know what I'm talking about. Do not. You need to walk away. Head held high, walking away. It's time for me to leave. Have your own means of transportation, your own place to live, your own keys to the cottage. You need to have your own and come to your own, come into your own. Even if this is very difficult, it is a must. You need to know how to walk away and not react, not talk, not look, not flinch, not flail, knowing what your standards are, your boundaries are, owning your truth. I do not need to tolerate this. I have gone through enough. So I know viewers who have had this trauma bond and experience for decades, and enough is enough. You've learned enough of how to feel down. It's time for you to learn how to do something else. It's time for you, you can say it's time for me now to learn how to feel other things. I've learned how to feel depressed very well. I've learned how to feel dejected very well. I've learned how to feel afraid for years. Now it's time for me to learn other feelings. I owe it to myself to learn how to have my own positive experience. It's me in life now. It's not me in trauma and, fear in life. It's me in life. It's me in the positive of life. It's me owning that and then saying it's okay. And furthermore, I can take that to the next level where I can go from the indifferent, neutral, non-reactive state to the positive, creative, owning my goodness state, and not as it's validated by this individual, but as it's validated by yourself or others who you select into your inner circle versus, being in that hovered state. So it's having a forecast, know what it looks like coming, being able to look ahead. And you can only look ahead once you're out of that trauma bond zone. In other words, if you're still in that trauma bonded fear, hypervigilant state, you're still empowered. You're still acting as a force to their counterforce. You're not in your personal power. Power stands alone. Power is power. Power does not flinch. Power does not flail. Power is not reactive. It is an experience. It is an experience of being aware, of being at peace, of just simple being and not reacting to that negative part or that negative experience or what you have identified yourself as such now. So it's getting out of that reactivity, into the pure zone. I think maybe that's a good word to describe it as pure. and then holding in that pure state where you are truly kind of embedding a pure, peaceful state, that it's not, your muscles aren't in a reactive, you're just in a B state. And then to take ability for yourself to envision from this state, which is very clean, very calm, very serene, and then just knowing that what the triggers are like, and then just seeing a vision play in your mind of yourself moving strong, moving forward, of not being entrapped, of not walking into the trap, of not feeling trapped, of feeling liberated, strong, secure, feeling magnificent, in fact, feeling bliss, feeling joy, feeling spontaneity, feeling inspiration, feeling talent, feeling your own personal power, and holding it and not giving it away to another, but having the ability to really hold your power. And in this state now, knowing what makes you happy, what makes you joyful, and validating that. And then being able to pursue this in its a sort of immediacy. So having a feeling of command and non-reactive, and being able to move furthermore and separate yourself from that, and then moving forward in your life, and then building up more experiences to the positive, and then what we call positive early direction thinking, building up experiences from that state, which is we utilize and experiment and use it with your recovery date. So whether it's your interest in a specific person, place, or thing, or talent, where you're going and pursuing that and then giving that to yourself and building up. It's a building process versus a breaking down process. So the breaking down is the hover. So if you have enough of that experience in foresight, in planning, in learning, and wisdom moving forward, it won't throw you off base because your base is so strong. Think of your base as what we call grounded. It's like literally having your feet grounded to the ground. You might need to go and then have some physical experiences with this. Going to a forest preserve, a destination where there's sand, or a beautiful place on earth to you, taking off your shoes and socks and really feeling grounded, feeling what your feet like, feeling very firmly planted, and stable and calm and strong. These are the qualities that you need to, I call them emotements. I mean, times where you literally take yourself out with the intention of feeling a very specific emotional quality and giving that to yourself. And the more you build that up, the more you know you have it. And then you become an I have versus I have not. I have strength versus I have not strength. I have peace versus I have not peace. I have abundance. I have connection. I have relationship with heart-centered connection. And I have true connection versus all the false, whatever it is that falls away, the tense, the angry, the fighting. That is not a place to be. That is, drama is not the answer. As cool, calm, focused, and as sharp and centered you can be, the better. And that will give you more of a responsive, empowered state. But, you need to, I would advise, creating a future vision for yourself independently, autonomously, in a liberated sense. And then so that when the hover comes back, it's no longer attractive. You see where then they're at a whole nother place in life, and then you have brought yourself to a whole new destination, which is more desirable, attractive to you, more glorious, where you're happy and doing and having